Hey Deckers, by popular request I'm looking at Star Wars Jedi Survivor again. With patch 9 removing Denuvo, then it certainly has made a difference, and if you remember this cutscene from my previous video, which was completely insanely unplayable, this is a massive improvement. However, during my testing I was deceived somewhat. Now I'm not sure what happened, but for the most part, as you can see here with the low graphic settings that I'll show just in a sec, it was actually performing quite well. Now this part of Jabba, especially after all of those cutscenes and bits and pieces, was around 10 to 15 frames per second before, with no way of recovering. But playing through in my testing here, I was able to play quite happily, although it does dip under that 30 occasionally, especially during some of the combat scenes. It's definitely playable, and this is with FSR2 balanced. You could probably push it to performance if you want, but it looks a little bit fuzzy as it is on balance, so I wouldn't really want to go much lower than that. The dips aren't actually that bad, and I was able to start getting my parries and bits and pieces correct once I got used to the slight input latency of the recording. On the deck though, it does look absolutely phenomenal, even with the absolute low settings and FSR2 balance that we have here. Now, this was playing quite well, although after probably about my 10th replay of this section, because I'm still not very good at this game and it is still quite Souls-like, I hit a very random issue. When I say random issue, it's definitely a issue that I wasn't expecting, but I'm sure others are going to come across this as well. Now, I'm not sure if it's to do with the fact of killing this little bot, which was the only real main difference between this run and my others, but as soon as I hit the load spike area here, which is fairly common to get those load spikes and slight dips, the frames per second just tanked and they stayed there. Now this hadn't happened on any of the previous runs, so I was a little bit taken aback, and I thought I would just try changing some settings to see if it reset, which did actually work to my surprise, and it did return back to the kind of normal settings. All I did was turn the anti-aliasing up slightly and come back out, and you can reset it because it does save it as you go. And as you can see, that completely restabilized it. However, once I beat this monster again, which obviously triggered another load spike of some kind, the issue with the frames per second came back just as bad as before. Now once again, going into the settings and changing something did reset it again, but it's probably only a matter of time before it gets triggered again. So you need to restart the game if this starts happening, which is going to be a pain if you're halfway through a mission, or every time it happens you're just going to have to go and change a setting on and off again to buy you another minute or two of gameplay. Now I am running the 4 gig of VRAM, and I am on the stable channel running the standard Proton, so there could be some other fixes here, but I did feel a little bit deceived that it was running so well compared to what it has been to then hit that massive problem with the frames per second sticking so low. I'll keep an eye on this, but I have a lot more other games to test, so I might come back to this in a little while, and if there's anybody in the comments below that knows a fix, then please drop it and I will pin it as well. Let us know what you think of patch 9. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.